Hello, in this video we will discuss boundaries, contents and clinical importance of anatomical snuff box. So this is a specimen of left side, and before we discuss anatomical snuff box, let's see few structures for orientation. This is the lateral side of the specimen and this is the medial side of the specimen. This is abductor pollicis longus muscle and this is extensor pollicis brevis. The tendons of these two muscles pass deep to this extensor retinaculum. The same tendons we can see here. This is the tendon of abductor pollicis longus, which inserts on base of first metacarpal bone, and this is a tendon of extensor pollicis brevis, which inserts on dorsal aspect of base of proximal phalanx of a thumb. Then this tendon is the tendon of extensor pollicis longus, which inserts on dorsal aspect of base of distal phalanx of a thumb. Then here we can see the dorsal venous arch. The lateral end of dorsal venous arch, it continues as cephalic vein. So this is a cephalic vein, and this cephalic vein, it receives a vein from lateral aspect of a thumb and continues along the lateral aspect of a forearm. So this is the cephalic vein. Then here this is a superficial branch of radial nerve. It is cutaneous in nature. It supplies skin of lateral aspect of the dorsum of a hand and dorsal aspect of lateral 3.5 fingers. So this is superficial branch of radial nerve. Now coming to the anatomical snuff box. Anatomical snuff box, it is a triangular depression present along dorsolateral aspect of a wrist. Why it is called anatomical snuff box? So this site was used for placing and sniffing the snuff, and that's why it is called as anatomical snuff box. Then boundaries of anatomical snuff box. It is bounded laterally by abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis, which are the muscles of first compartment. Medially, it is bounded by extensor pollicis longus muscle, which is a muscle of third compartment. Roof is formed by skin, superficial, the skin has been removed in this specimen. Then superficial fascia, which contains cephalic vein and superficial branch of radial nerve, and deep to that there is a deep fascia. Then floor is formed by 4 bones, and these bones are the styloid process of radius, then scaphoid, trapezium and base of first metacarpal bone. Then contents. Content is the radial artery. So this is a radial artery. Radial artery in front of wrist lies lateral to the tendon flexor carpi radialis muscle. So this is a radial artery. The radial artery passes deep to the abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis and enters into the floor of anatomical snuff box. And from here the artery enters the hand by passing between two heads of first dorsal interosseous muscle. So this is first dorsal interosseous muscle, and radial artery enters the hand and completes deep palmar arch by passing between its two heads. Now coming to the clinical importance. Pain and tenderness in anatomical snuff box occurs in fractures of scaphoid. Also, the cephalic vein, which lies in the roof of anatomical snuff box, is used for giving intravenous infusions. The next is de Quervain's tenosynovitis. It is a inflammation of tendons and synovial sheath of abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis muscle. The symptoms will be pain at root of thumb, at radial styloid process, and the cause of this condition is repetitive use of thumb, especially in abducted and extended position. So it commonly occurs in new mothers because they have to hold the babies. It is also seen in washerwomen, those who are doing computer typing or using a computer mouse for prolonged period, then piano players, And nowadays it is very common in individuals who are engaged in texting and gaming on the cell phones, and therefore this condition is also called as gamer's thumb or texting thumb or blackberry thumb. So that's all about anatomical snuff box. If you like my videos, do share and subscribe. Thank you.